Do you have any loans right now?
I do not have any current loans other than one credit card bill.
And what is the interest rate?
19.20.
What is your annual income right now?
10 to 12 lakhs a year.
And how much do you invest every month?
26,000 rupees.
What are the biggest challenges that you're facing today with respect to managing your money?
But I want to buy a house. So I'm living in my parents' house. I want to buy a house. How would I go on with that?
The first number that we'll calculate is the retirement number. The number that you need is 4.7 crores. So that entire foreign gig becomes very critical to your financial plan. How you can go about investing. So I mentioned balanced funds earlier. One of the oldest balanced funds is the HDFC Balanced Advantage Fund. One more that you can explore potentially something like an ICICI Prudential Multi-Asset Fund.
It is like from that Tarak Mehta ka Ulta Chashma. ना नसीब से कम ना नसीब से ज्यादा कभी किसी को मिला है ना कभी किसी को मिलेगा.
Hello everyone, welcome to one more episode of MoneyWise, and today we are joined by Mitali. Mitali, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Pleasure is all mine.
To have you.
Yes.
Can you tell me what you do, where you're from?
What I do, I am a physical and health educator, not a teacher, physical and health educator. And I am from Mumbai. I work for an international school in Mumbai. Born and brought up in Mumbai.
Proper Mumbaikar. Speaking
Yes.
to a Punekar from across the highway. So, Mitali, let's get right into it. What is your annual income right now at this point in time?
So around 10 to 12 lakhs a year.
Okay. And what is the money that hits your account every month after, all the TDS, provident fund that the school deducts?
Around 80,000 rupees a month.
And how much of that 80,000 rupees do you invest every month into various instruments?
So around 26,000 rupees. So I don't know the percentage, which I will have to calculate.
Got it. That's super. Out of 80,000 rupees, you're investing 26,000 rupees, which is a very high percentage. So
Okay.
That is wonderful because a lot of people, they only say 5-10% of their income. Whereas in your case, it's over 30% if you think about it. 30% is 24,000, so you're investing 26,000, which is fantastic. Out of the 80,000, let's quickly go through your major expenses so that we know how much money is getting spent in various places.
Yep.
So Mitali, what is your biggest expense? Do you live in a rented house, a family-owned house? What is your family situation like? Who all is there in your family?
Okay, so I live with my parents, with my mom, in my mom's house. So the monthly expenses, one first, which goes into this investment of 26,000, while I give a monthly rental to my mom. Means not the whole house, which is a rented apartment. We do share the rent, so I give that money. Then there is around 2,500 a month, which I give in for my physical well-being, as in health. Like I like to exercise and work out. Then around a mobile bill of 1,000 rupees plus some fuel charges of around 6K, and then Netflix, Spotify, and all those things. It really depends and varies with the fuel. So about where I'm going, what I'm doing, and all those things. Plus, I have a daughter who's a growing up daughter who's 21, who's in college. So I give money to her as a monthly pocket money and some of her expenses. So there my money goes. That's how it is. And I do have a mutual fund for her also, which is around 2,500 and plus 2,500 for her other expenses.
Got it. And she's in college, so what is her annual fee that goes towards education?
2.5, I can say, a year.
Got it. So about 21,000 odd rupees if we divide it monthly. Understood.
Yes.
So you're investing 26,000. Mitali, by the way, one thing that I loved when you were talking about all your expenses was that you first mentioned the investment that you make of 26,000. Then one of the other very early things that you mentioned was the 2,500 rupees that goes into your own physical well-being, which is also an investment, right? Because if you
Yes,
stay
it is.
healthy, mentally you're better, physically you're better, you can just do more things, live longer, live happier. So a lot of people think about it the other way around. I'll spend money and then I'll have a little to invest. But you first mention your investment, which is great because that tells me how you think about that 26,000 rupees that you're investing every month. If I were to ask you, what are the biggest challenges that you're facing today with respect to managing your money, your investments, so I can help you out with it?
I want to invest properly so that when I retire, whatever that age may be, I've not yet decided, but definitely not before the 60, because I get a little, like if I don't have anything to do, it gets to me. So maybe 60, 65 or 70. I need to have, my life should continue the same. It should not stop at any time. Like if I want to travel, I can just pack my bag and go. Maybe it is just like take my car today and drive to Mahabaleshwar, drive to Goa or something like that. And I don't have to think, oh, would that amount be still there in me, with me? Will I still be able to manage that amount? So for that, being physically healthy, even at that age, which matters from right now, and having that money to enjoy that is the freedom that I would want to look forward to. And plus, having some goals for every little thing, like enjoying life to its best. Like I would be 15 another 6 years, and I want to have a good time with my friends. I will be 60, even if I'm still alive, then I would want to enjoy that. And after that, whatever I want to buy a house. Though I'm living in my parents' house, I want to buy a house. How would I go on with that, with this kind of investment? Whether will I be able to do that, assessing my current financial situation and where I am today and where I would want to be in another 6 years is what I'm looking at.
Got it. All right. So can you tell me if you have sort of figured out where you want to buy this house, how much it would cost as well?
Yes, I figured out, not in Mumbai definitely, but
that will make our financial planning easier.
yeah. So somewhere on the coastal side, maybe Goa has all my heart. So yes, currently what I had looked around is around. So in South Goa, it is a little less expensive, while North Goa is a little expensive.
And what would the house in South Goa cost roughly? I know it'll be a range, but if you have a fair
right
estimate.
now, around when my brother had seen around a year or 2 years back, it was a flat which he had seen around 65 to 75. Let's put it that way.
Got it. All right. And Mitali, before we get there, let's set up the entire foundation. So, do you have any loans right now that are active?
No. I do not have any current loans other than one credit card bill. That's
card bill. And can you give us more details as to what that credit card bill is? What is the amount? Why you had taken it in the first place?
Okay, I had taken it for a dental treatment. It is not a loan, but it is an amount which I had swiped on the credit card, which I have turned it into a monthly installment system, monthly smart EMI.
Correct.
Which would be around 6,000 rupees a month right now, and then later 5,900, and it would go lower. So that is for 6 months. That's it.
Got it. So about 40,000 is the outstanding amount of that loan.
Yes.
And what is the interest rate for the loan that you've converted here?
19.20.
19.20. Okay.
Yeah. I was not aware of that. My bad.
The silver lining that I would look at here is that it is not as if you swiped a supremely high amount of 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, and then you had to pay a 20% interest. So you have burned your fingers, but with a smaller amount in a way. So you wouldn't do that later on.
Yes, definitely. Yes. I've never done this before. This is the first time that I converted into smart EMI, and I don't know why I did it. It was just at the spur of the moment.
Coming to your investments, Mitali, which also has a small risk coverage element to it. Where are your investments right now? How much money do you have invested currently in various assets?
So I have my investments basically in mutual funds. So Only a little in gold Vs and maybe a little in stock, but quite a lot in mutual funds. So only in mutual funds I can say that I have my investments in.
Got it. So with regards to the mutual fund portfolio, Mitali, can you give me a breakdown as to which funds you're investing in? What are the amounts in each of those funds?
Yeah, I can. So I'm investing it in DSP ELSS Tax Saver Fund, which is a
Okay.
regular plan.
Okay.
So every month around 6,000 goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I invest monthly right now is HDFC Floating Rate Debt Fund, which is a regular plan growth,
Okay.
which is a 10K, and ICICI Prudential Regular Savings Fund growth.
Okay. Okay.
So these three are the main ones.
Got it. Got it. Understood. So these are the three funds: the DSP ELSS fund, the
Yes.
HDFC floating interest
Yes.
debt fund,
Yes.
and the ICICI
ICICI
regular
float.
savings fund. Got it.
Yes.
All right. So, are you happy with how these investments are doing at the moment, or do you want?
See, I really do not track them,
Okay.
which I would love to track them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I would want to know and get a little more better on track. This was quite safe
Correct.
that I did when I started this, because I'm a single mother and all my daughter's expenses are on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wanted to go safe when I started this
Correct.
initially, and I
Correct.
didn't want to go wrong then.
Correct.
So that is why maybe it would be a growth fund and a debt fund.
Got it.
But now I would want to go in a little more risk taking, because my daughter would be finishing her graduation, and if I'm not able to invest, or my investments don't work, she's capable of handling her finance, or maybe not her finance, but she's capable to earn a little more.
Correct. Correct.
So that would be something where I would want to explore in. So maybe more into equity like funds.
Correct.
And where the risk factor is higher, I'm ready to take the risk right now.
Correct. 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 No, absolutely. Because, and can you quickly tell me, Mitali, what is the amount in the HDFC floating rate fund and the ICICI Prudential regular savings fund?
The amount which I currently have there.
Yes, the current value.
So in HDFC floating rate, debt fund is 2,59,836.53.
Got it.
And ICICI Prudential regular savings fund growth plan is 4,66,958.92.
Got it. All right. Perfect. Superb. So the reason I asked this, Mitali, is because these two funds, right, especially the HDFC floating interest rate fund, that is an out and out debt fund that invests 100% of its money in bonds.
Yes, yes.
So that has
HDFC
no,
debt fund, right?
it has no investments that it makes in the stock market. Now, such a fund, along with the ICICI regular savings fund, which invests a very small amount in stocks, not the entire amount. So out of 100 rupees in that fund, about 20 to 25 will be invested in stocks, the rest in bonds. So both these are very safe plays, very safe funds. This can be a wonderful base for your emergency fund. So when I talked about protecting and covering risks, in case you need to make a big expense, in case your income for some reason stops for a few months and you have to pay the regular bills and all your responsibilities, then in that case this money that you have saved up, right, which is about 2.6 lakhs plus 4.6 lakhs, 7.2 lakhs, wonderful. It's covering for a good 10 months of your expenses, 12 months if you don't consider the investments. So I think this is a fantastic foundation. Now you have covered your main responsibilities, covered your main emergencies, and now you're, as you said, you're ready to take on more risk in a way by investing more in equities.
Yes.
Yeah. So then it now boils down to the 26,000 that you have. One suggestion that I would have is, now going forward, you already set up your emergency fund. You've already set up this solid defensive foundation. To pause the HDFC floating interest rate fund and the regular savings fund, the ICICI one.
Okay.
Because we want to invest more of this money in the stock market through mutual funds. And you can still invest in funds that have bonds and equities in it. So there are something called as balanced funds, where it's like a seesaw. The fund manager decides as per how the market is doing, as per their own analysis, how much money to have in stocks and bonds. Generally, such funds have more than 50-60% of the money in stocks.
Yeah.
The rest in bonds. So that additional amount in stocks can be a great kicker
Okay.
as to how that particular investment can perform. So that would be my first sort of action plan. We pause these to start investing in the equity market, and again, because this would be your first foray of investing almost your entire amount into the stock market, we don't start off with very aggressive funds. We still have balanced funds, we still have multi-asset funds, and maybe we have a mid-cap fund in place. So you get your investment exposure into the largest stocks through the balanced funds or the multi-asset funds. So you're buying the Reliances, SBIs, HDFC banks of the world through that balanced fund, and you're also getting the future Reliances, Maruti Suzuki's of the world through your mid-cap fund, which invests in medium-sized companies. So that would be the action plan in a way. Let's now just zoom out a bit and start calculating how much money you would need for all these goals. Right? So right from retirement to the house and then the per year vacation that you want to take. The first number that we'll calculate is the retirement number that you have. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll enter your age, then your desired retirement age, let's say 60 in that case.
Yes. Yes.
Got it? All right. So let's do one thing, right? Let's have two scenarios. One with 50,000, your house is already paid for, 60,000 and your house is not paid for.
Absolutely.
Yeah? So we'll enter 50,000, let's say. Now we can keep inflation either 6 or 7%. So 7% means the number that you need is 4.7 crores. With 6%, that number becomes 3.5 crores. So you're within that range, right? 3.5 to 4.7 crores.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, just so you know, when you are 60 years old and you need to draw 50,000 rupees per month, the inflation adjusted value of that is 15 lakhs.
Inflation adjusted value.
Yeah. So 50,000 per month is 6 lakhs per year. Correct?
Okay. Yes.
So 16 years later, that's to be able to buy things worth 6 lakh rupees every single year, you need 15 lakh rupees because of inflation.
Okay.
So, that is how big inflation, a role inflation plays when it comes to just, knowing how much money you need. That's why you have this number this high, 3.5 to 4.7 crores. That is number one. Now, when it comes to how can you essentially get there with respect to your income and with respect to your investments. So currently, Mitali, you're doing 26,000 rupees every month, correct?
Yes.
With your investments.
Yes.
And you would potentially invest for 16 more years.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, if you notice, that is giving you about 2.68 crores.
Okay.
And what is getting assumed here is a 10% annual step up.
Yes.
So you invest 26,000 in the first year, then you invest 26,000 plus 2,600, right? Which is 28,600 rupees in the second year, then 10% higher in the third year, and so on. So as your income increases, we increase your investments as well. Now, if you notice, with a 26,000 SIP, you are having about 2.68 crores.
Yeah.
What you need for 50,000 is 3.57 crores.
Yes.
Now, there are a couple of things that can change here when it comes to just figuring out how much money you would have later on. Firstly, you may get a higher return. So I've assumed a 12% return. Historically, the Indian market has done about 14% annualized returns over this longer time frame. That doesn't mean you'll get 14% every year.
Absolutely.
It'll be negative in some years, positive in some years, zero in some years, 50-60% in some years. So it's no one can tell how the market will perform. So in that case, if we say move this to 14%, now you have 3.19 crores in place. What you need for retirement is 3.57. So generally, when I'm looking at projecting or estimating how much money you would have or anyone would have, I don't like to go beyond 12%.
Okay.
Because anything you get above that, I feel is great, is a bonus.
Yes. Yes.
So so let's, if we move this back to 12,
okay.
then this becomes 2.68 right here.
Okay.
The other option you have is you increase how much you invest every month.
Okay.
Which is in your hands entirely. So that is where the second income potentially comes in.
Yes.
Then with respect to career trajectory, so how does that look like in your profession, where you are a physical education educator, you are working in an international school. So generally, what are the opportunities like for you as you progress, as you become more established in the field?
Okay, so from a teacher, you become a subject coordinator. From a subject coordinator to any other leadership role that if the school looks at it and wants you to take up. So that would be with a certain amount of responsibilities and with the amount that you get credited into your salary. It adds on to around 20,000 rupees more to your salary, or 10,000, depends on how you bargain. It's all on your bargaining skills. One way of thinking of this is moving abroad.
Okay.
For at least 2 to 4 years, make that corpus and get back and come back to teaching in India. So you at least have some kind of a emergency or a foundation that you've laid, and then investing it again in your mutual funds and growing through that, and have a good life in India.
And someone of your experience, if they move outside, to which country would they move to ideally? And secondly, what would the income be once you move out?
Okay.
While you're outside.
So generally, what I've seen is people go to Southeast Asia because the housing cost is very less and the standard of living is comparatively lower than Mumbai. And even in Middle East. Middle East is basically Dubai, Qatar, UAE, Qatar, Oman, because they provide housing over there. So when the school provides housing, your major chunk of money is saved. So whatever the salary would be, around 2.5, 3 lakhs, I would say, if you're starting in your career. So if you have 2 years experience and you're getting a chance to move abroad, you should just move abroad, because that's when you don't have any responsibilities and you've not have your life started. You make a hell lot of money over there, save it appropriately, and then come back, and then you get into your teaching zone in India. While for me it was a little difficult because I had some other responsibilities in life, and which didn't happen earlier. But and in in Southeast Asia, it would be around same around. It actually depends on the number of experience that you have. So this is the 2 years basic that I'm saying in an international school, but an international school setup where teachers have had around 6 to 8 years of experience, they would be easily getting around more than 3 lakhs or 3.5 lakhs easily.
Got it. And after expenses, how much would be left out of, let's say, the 3
lakhs?
3.5 lakhs?
1 lakh closing your eyes without even thinking. 1 lakh per month keeping your eyes closed. But other than that, it really depends on how each person is, how their expenses are. Like, what do you want to do with your money? And if your goal is to just save that, for 2 years, I'm just going to be here and save maximum, you can save how much ever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, got it. So, because look, in your situation, Mitali, there are going to be 2 changes that I can see. Firstly, after 3 or 4 years, that 20,000 rupees that goes towards the daughter education will stop. That can be diverted towards investing. So if we were to quickly make a change, just 1 second. So you have 26,000 rupees, as we discussed earlier, that gives you about 2.68 crores by the age of 60.
Yes.
You're 44 by the time in 4 more years, right? You would have essentially 20 more thousand rupees to invest.
Yes.
Because, and we'll add that here, right? So there you go. You add 20 more thousand because the money that you're paying for your daughter's education will essentially get diverted towards your own retirement goals, your long-term goals.
Yes.
Now you have 3.68 crores.
Okay.
What you need for retirement for a 50,000 income is 3.57.
Okay.
Now, but keep in mind, we still have to account for your vacation every year.
Yes.
And we want to account for your house that you want to buy.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first life situation that would change is 20,000 additionally going into investments.
Yes.
The second would be around the same time, and tell me if that makes sense. Around the same time, in the 4 odd years, 3-4 years, you are thinking of moving abroad where now you will have, instead of, the 26,000 rupees as surplus, 30,000 rupees as surplus, you now have at least a lakh to 70,000 higher.
Yes.
Correct? So,
Yes.
so now in that case, let's just go through this small calculation once again. So when you move outside, Mitali, you're planning on staying there for 3-4 years?
Yeah, at least 4 years for sure. I mean, it would depend, as in how the working conditions are. Very easy said and done that you
Correct.
would want to go.
Wow.
But 2 years, because the contracts initially start from 2 years. It really depends from which school you go to.
Got it.
First is 2 years, and if they want to continue, they give you another 1 year. So around 3 to 4 years.
Got it. So let's be conservative and say 3 years.
Yes.
Kind of middling. Yeah. So now let's say you're investing another lakh additionally.
Yes.
For those 3 years.
Yes.
That gives you 47,64,000 rupees.
Yes.
Roughly extra. So let's say you move out in year 48.
Okay.
40. So by the time you're 50, by the end of it, you are having 47,000 extra, 47 lakhs extra in your investments.
Yes.
Now let's see how things change.
Yeah, 5 crores.
Now you have 5 crores. So that move that you're planning becomes pivotal to you achieving the various financial goals that you have.
Absolutely.
Because with that kicker of, because you save for 3 years and you're having suddenly almost 50 lakhs, right? 47, 50 lakhs.
Absolutely.
Which then has a 10-year compounding range, right? From 50 to 60. So that is one thing. Now, let us add a few other things here. So let's say you want to go for your vacation every year. So Mitali, what I have done is I have added a 50,000 rupee annual fund for you. I'm calling it a vacation fund, but it starts from the time you're 47 years of age till the time you retire, till the time you're 60, 61 in this case specifically, 16, 17 years. So that 50,000, if you notice, when you are 47, will be worth 73,000 rupees at a 10% inflation. So we're accounting for inflation every time, right? If you notice the second year, it's worth 80,000 rupees, not 73 anymore. So again, we're accounting for inflation everywhere. Now the thing is, when you do this, how much money do you have left? 4.3 crores. So, and how much do we need to retire? 3.5 crores.
5 crores.
Now in this case, one more expense, one more goal that you have is the house in Goa.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now ideally, I feel that is a goal that will happen 8 to 10 years later. So once you're back from wherever you are working, you have saved that money. So let's say it happens when you're 54 years old. One more goal that I've added here, Mitali, for you, you had mentioned you wanted to get a car as well, is a 6 lakh car when you're 51. So when you get back from working outside, you buy a car. So that also gets ticked here.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, when you're 54, let's see how that house can be accommodated for and whether it can be accommodated for.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll have to figure out not investing 1 lakh when you're outside, if you can invest 1.5 lakhs and how that may change the game. But let's just first see let's say a 75 lakh house in Goa. And let's say it grows at 8%. Now that 75 lakhs would be worth 1.75 crores at that stage, at an 8% growth. Which if you notice, dents your money, right? You had 1.8 crores, now you have 13 lakhs.
Absolutely.
And here, by the time you retire, you have 1.2 crores. So, you needed 3.5, you had 3.5, but now you have 1.2. So, in that case, does say lowering this amount, right? You said your brother had also explored something worth 65 lakhs.
Yes.
So, does that make a material difference to how we are preparing for retirement? 1.64, not really at that point. The second thing that can be possible is instead of when you are outside for 3 years, you don't save a lakh, you save a lakh and a half. Let's see how that, if that changes and if that helps you out, right? There you go. A lakh and a half, now it's 71 lakhs essentially, instead of 47. So let me just quickly look at this amount. So instead of 47, we will enter 71. Now this gives you 2.3 crores at that stage. So we are still not at 3.5 crores. So maybe working for 1 more year outside instead of 3 years can potentially change the game. So
Absolutely.
let's explore that as well. So instead of 3 years, you do 4 years. So now you have 1.06 crores that gets added.
Yes.
Now you have 3.3 crores.
Yes.
Yeah, very close to
Very
how much
close.
you would need when you
Yes.
eventually retire.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that entire foreign gig that you want to be a part of, I think becomes very critical to your financial plan.
Absolutely.
Because with that, you are essentially being able to go for that vacation every year. You're able to buy a car when you get back. At the same time, you're also able to save money for your retirement and have a house that is paid for at that stage. Did I give you a good bird's eye view, Mitali, the numbers that we crunched?
Yes, absolutely. It was quite an eye-opener and the figures, once you see them, you understand. By just thinking about it, yeah, this would happen, it doesn't work.
No, absolutely. And I think, look, you're in a position where you have got that 7.5 lakhs in a very safe place.
True.
So that stays where it is, but now you restarted investing.
Yes.
And
That's where I want to know where do I invest and all.
Yes.
More clarity on that.
Yeah. So I'll share a couple of ideas with you right now itself. How you can go about investing. So I mentioned balanced funds earlier.
Yes.
So like one of the oldest balanced funds is the HDFC balanced fund, HDFC Balanced Advantage Fund. And over a 5-year period, it has generated 20% annualized returns, which is crazy when you think about it.
Okay.
Then at the same time, this is where it's investing all its money. All these stocks. It's a balanced fund, so it has both bonds and stocks in it. So if you notice, you have a Government of India bond here. And in fact, let me share with you the overall allocation of that fund. So it becomes even more clearer. So this is the HDFC Balanced Advantage Fund. If I go to the portfolio, you will see 50% of the money is in equities, so in stocks.
Yes.
So 28 plus 18%, so about 46, 47% is in bonds or cash. So it's in a very safe place.
Okay.
Essentially 50-50 the split right now within the fund. The fund also has 151 stocks in it. So just think about it, right? The 50% exposure is going to 150 stocks. The kind of diversification that you get. This is one kind of a fund. One more that you can explore potentially is something like an ICICI Prudential Multi-Asset Fund. So a balanced fund invests in 2 places, bonds and stocks typically, and very minor allocation in other categories. But a multi-asset fund by nature has to invest in at least 3 kinds of places. So if you notice this fund, the ICICI Prudential Multi-Asset Fund, if again equity is very similar to the HDFC Balanced Advantage Fund.
Yeah.
But it has commodities. Which is a big difference. And then the rest of it is spread across debt and cash.
Yeah.
So 2 funds like this, which are, I think, a step up from what you're investing. Because right now, outside of that 6,000 rupee SIP that you're putting into the TSP tax saver fund, outside of that, everything is going into bonds.
Okay.
So then you want to sort of tweak it a little and potentially invest in a place like this.
Yes.
So, and if you're investing, say, specifically in those 2 funds, then you also want to look at if the funds are investing in the same place. Because if you're investing in 2 funds, they shouldn't be investing in the same place. Investing in slightly different places.
True.
So one way to look at that is through overlap tool. So I'm on Advisor Coach. It's a very good website for different things. Yeah. So I'm just going to type in the fund name here, the two funds that I spoke about, right? And we'll just check how much overlap there is. So 54% overlap in these two funds. So ideally a very high overlap. I think this is above the ideal number. So yeah. So for example, there are other kinds of. So for example, Quant has a multi-asset fund. So we'll explore that, see how that does compared to these two.
So, what is the percentage? Like right now, you're saying it is 50% overlap, but what is an ideal percentage?
Ideal will be under 20-25, which if you notice in these two funds, you will find, right, 16%. So minor overlap in that way.
So which is this fund?
So here it's the Quant multi-asset fund.
Quant,
yeah. So if you look at the balance advantage category or the dynamic asset allocation category, and I just filter funds as per how old they are. So you would notice, look at HDFC is one of the oldest funds in this space. Then, even ICICI Prudential balance advantage, Nippon balance advantage, very, very old funds. And here you will see how much money they manage as well. So HDFC is one of the biggest in the field, right? With 89,000 crores under its belt in this particular fund. Then you have SBI, then you have ICICI, so Kotak, all the likely suspects, the big names have the big money because of the legacy that they carry. So even Edelweiss has a good fund in the space. They're known for their balance advantage fund. So, the reason this becomes, I feel, the stepping stone instead of having an out-and-out mid-cap, small-cap fund or something like that is because you're right now used to bonds, having a large amount of money in bonds. This becomes a stepping stone because you get equity and bonds together in something like this.
Yes.
One final question that I have is with regards to term insurance. Do you have any currently?
Yes, I have a term insurance from Tata AI.
Okay. And what is the cover amount?
75 lakhs.
75 lakhs. Okay, got it.
And so that is till my daughter turns 27.
Got it. All right. So what I think 75 lakhs is a solid amount. Because that ensures that, she gets her, if she requires money for anything, that becomes her go-to amount. Is your mom by any means reliant on you today as well for small things here and there?
Very little.
Got
Sometimes.
it. Got it. So I'm just, one thing that I could potentially point out is that we can have a policy that covers you instead of for 75 lakhs, it covers you for maybe 1.25 crores, another 50 lakhs. So if you get a 50 lakh additional policy, which you can get, you already have one in place. So you can easily just get one more. So I'll just tell you how much it will cost. So it gives you an idea.
Okay.
And it will be a very strategic 7-8 year term policy. So by the time your daughter is 30, it's not needed post tax. So just let me share with you. So if you get one for 10 years, for example, a policy that costs, that has a cover of 50 lakhs, you pay about 10 to 11,000 rupees per year.
Okay.
For a 15 lakh additional cover. Right? I think that just means that you mentally, checked all the boxes that you can. I think that is a sufficient amount.
Absolutely.
So there you go, Mitali. I think that sort of sums up and rounds up the financial plan and how to basically move forward. Hope this helped you out. Just get a sense of how your money life is progressing, what you need to do to achieve the various goals that you have, which by the way you can, right, with the various projects that we had in place.
Absolutely.
Superb. Anything else, Mitali, that we missed out on that you wanted to talk about?
The rest, I need to work hard, keep myself fit so that I can work harder.
Yes.
And get things in place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if some inheritance, if God's grace is there, then that would help. I never bank on it, but it is, I simply believe that whatever is yours will come to you.
Yeah.
It is like from that Tarak Mehta ka Ulta Chashma. ना नसीब से कम ना नसीब से ज्यादा कभी किसी को मिला है ना कभी किसी को मिलेगा.
What a great note to sum this up.
So hope for the best, and that's it.
Sounds great, Mitali. Thank you so much for being a part of MoneyWise.
Pleasure's all mine, always.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank
day.
you very much.